Have you ever felt that life's a struggle? Like you're battling every single day. Where do you get the strength? How do we get the fortitude, the faith to overcome our challenges? So this week's Torah portion has a line in it that I think if you look closely, it gives us the answer. Listen to this line. I'll say it in Hebrew and I'll translate. Ki setzei l'milchama, when you go out to battle, right? Moshe is speaking, but it's God's words, right? When you go out to battle, not today, in the future. Whenever you go out to battle. Aleivech against your enemies. V'risa sus v'rechev am rab mimcha. You may see chariots and horses in a massive army. Lo sira mehem. Don't be scared. Ki Hashem Elokecha imach. God's with you. And then it adds 3 words that make sense, but don't make sense. Hamalcha mi'eretz Mitzrayim. That Hashem took you out of Egypt. Why do we got to remember that? Remember, they're sitting in the desert, right? They're eating mun from heaven. There's a well of water. They're living in miracles. You think like in 150 years when they're battling and they're like looking around and there's like a million chariots and like elephants and spears, they're like, wait. Remember when Hashem took, remember Pesach? What does it do with anything? Why are we going back to God taking us out of Egypt when they're in battle in the future? So I want to share with you an idea. It's funny because earlier on, during the time of the spies, you see very similar language. When Caleb and Joshua came back and they said, we'll be fine. And Caleb got up and said, let's do it. God took us out of Egypt. He split the sea. It's a very similar concept. They keep on going back to Egypt. They keep on going back to these things to prove that we can do something in the future. How is that possible? So, in many ways, it reminds me of a teaching of Rav Noach Weinberg. Rav Noach Weinberg, the founder and dean of Aish Torah, would always say that we lose perspective. Whenever we go out to do something, we wonder where God is. We forget that even to get to wherever we are, God has done so much for us to take us here. But we forget to realize it. Like whatever you want during your day is probably less valuable than that which you already had before you started your day. Like, think about the miracles that have to go on in your body, the millions of things that have to go right exactly every day, and that you woke up, and where you woke up, and that you live in a certain place. Like, think about how many miracles that if one of those things would not have been there, that whatever you're doing that day wouldn't even be relevant. The work, the doing, the conversations, all that stuff is only relevant because all the miracles happen. And if one wouldn't happen, whatever you're doing, whatever, I'll give that up. I can't believe I didn't wake up, or I can't take off, right? And if you just realize that the track record that God has before you start your day, you start your day with faith. He's already hooking you up. He's been hooking you up for years. I'm not saying everything's perfect. I'm not saying that there's no challenges. And I'm not saying people don't get hit with crises. I'm saying if you look at the track record of how many miracles have to happen every second for us to live, of how much good is in our lives, of how many positive things happen, and all things that we don't know that's positive, things that could have been negative. If we think it through, we realize that God's got a great track record. I'm saying everything's perfect. He's perfect. But the world isn't perfect. But when you see the world that way, and you're constantly looking back and seeing all that He's done, it changes how you look forward. It changes the faith that you have for next. It gives you something. It makes you fearless. You realize that God has been with you all this time, and when He's with you, the horses, the chariots, come on. I think the verse is teaching us. Egypt, yeah, He hooked you up. Start from there. Don't forget. Look at the track record. Look backwards. And He took you out of Egypt. He took care of you here. He took care of you there. You want to know how to battle what's in front of you? Don't forget what's behind you. You know, so many times in life, we just take what we have for granted. We don't appreciate it. We don't think about it. We're not blown away by our eyesight. We're not blown away when we feel better from feeling sick. We don't get blown away by the thing that we prayed for and now that we have, once you have it for a few days. The track record disappears. And so now we're left battling, worrying, without faith. If we look backwards at our morning, at all the miracles that happened, at our year and all the things that happened to us, at our life, and we see God's track record for all that He's done for us, then when we turn around to face what's in front of us, we can become more fearless. God's with us. If He brought us to it, He'll bring us through it. And with His track record, there's nothing that can stop us.